When the weather heats up, I find that I'm usually pretty terrible at planning out all of my knits. In previous summers, I found it quite difficult to get my head around using cotton or linen yarns just because of how different the texture can be between sort of more summery and more autumnal and wintry fibres. However, this year I decided to get really organised and have spent a couple of hours trawling through Ravelry to try and find the ideal summer tops. I composed this list with the idea of including something for everyone. So you have your traditional sleeveless tops that you would usually see on summer knitting lists, but I've also included some more bra-friendly options and some sweaters that you could use to wrap around yourself when it gets a little bit cooler. I hope you really enjoy this list and it provides you with a lot of inspiration now that the warmer months are here. To kick off my list of sleeveless options, I have the Barbroe top by Knitting for Olive. Now this top is created in Knitting for Olive's beautiful pure silk, which is one of my absolute favourite yarns for warm weather knitting. The pure silk is really sturdy but also very luxurious, so items created out of it tend to be light, breathable, and they feel very special. I have previously spoken about the Barbroe top because I was going to cast it on last year, but I've decided that this is the year, and after having a few difficulties with the beautiful lace when I was creating my swatch, I think I'm finally ready to cast it on. The Barbroe top is an all-over lacework piece created in fingering weight yarn, which allows you to kind of push yourself and take up the challenge of trying a little bit of lacework. Although the design looks quite difficult, I did find that once I had started working it up, I got the hang of it quite quickly, and it's definitely a really rewarding process to kind of see all of those holes appear and see that lacework really come to life. I selected this top because it reminds me quite a bit of one of my favourite brands, which is a small Danish brand called Skal Studio. I feel like the Barbroe top would work equally well in a classic neutral like I've suggested with this beautiful sandy shade, or a deeper, more kind of evening appropriate black or maybe burgundy. This piece is knit up on 3mm needles and it comes in sizes for teens all the way up to a 5XL. My second option is the lovely Rota sleeveless top by Irene. Now this is a designer that I have had my eye on since I joined Ravelry and started knitting all of those years ago, but I've never actually started and kind of cast on one of her pieces. But I think that this one is the perfect opportunity for me to try her designs out. The star of the Rota top is its interesting yet minimalist lacework design that goes all the way down the front and the back. It also features some quite chunky rib around the neck and the edges that just gives it that really kind of finished feel. I imagined knitting this top in a white or maybe a beige and pairing it with a tonal piece underneath so that you can allow that kind of sheer lacework to really shine. I think that if you lengthened this, as the designer has in some of her photos, you could wear it also with a pair of elegant trousers to create a really nice kind of going to dinner summer look that will keep you very cool because of all of that open lacework and kind of sleeveless design, but also look still quite put together because of the attention to detail to the finish. This piece would also be quite a quick and light option to take with you to knit because it is created in a worsted weight cotton blend yarn. The Rota top is knit from the top down, so you create the back and the front and then you join them together until you go all the way down to the split hem. Now the split hem is another reason why I'm so interested in this design, because I do find that creating a split hem allows me to get a smaller ties on top to match my proportions, but also have a little bit more wiggle room for my thighs and hips. It comes in a total of 6 sizes from a 96 to 136 centimetre bust. Having shown you 2 options featuring intricate lace, which I do really love for summer, I wanted to include something that was a little bit more pared back and kind of very classic with a real focus on silhouette. And this is the Sabai top by Paulastrickt. The things that this top get right are its classic construction featuring a boat neck with 2 separate options for the neckline finish. I'll include both pictures here and you will see that you can complete the Sabai top with a ribbed detail or just with straight I-cord edging, so that gives you a few ways to customize your finished look. I have noticed that there have been a few other releases that are quite similar to this top, but I feel the fact that you can change this neckline gives it that little extra edge. The construction of the Sabai top is seamless, with just the separation to create the 2 armholes and then joining back together to create the rest of the body. And you only actually need 1 set of 4mm needles for this. So that would make it a really, really great option for travelling when you don't want to take your whole needle case with you. You can just pop in a set of 4mm, maybe in wood, to be careful for your hand luggage, and then you're good to go. The Sabai top comes in 6 sizes, from an extra small to an XXL. My last sleeveless option is the Kuutar top by Sari Nordlund. Now, Sari Nordlund is such a prolific designer who has brought out several really beautiful options this spring and summer. However, it's this top from a few years ago that has really caught my attention and really inspired me to cast on a halter neck design. I wanted to include the Kuutar top because I wanted to give you a different option of silhouette with the halter neck design, but I also just really fell in love with how captivating the lacework detail is on this. As I mentioned, she has several designs which are quite similar, but I personally enjoy this particular pattern and the fact that the strappy details created in I-cord look so extremely polished. I would make this maybe in a darker colour, even though the lighter colours do allow the lacework to sing, because I imagine wearing this going out to dinner. I feel like the fact that it's a halter and you have your exposed shoulders, it just makes it feel very feminine and very elegant. The designer recommends using a plant-based yarn like a cotton or a linen. However, I feel like this could be a good one to use up some of your leftover kind of fingering weight, maybe wool blends. Because of the fact that it's so skimpy, you won't get too hot even if the top is made out of wool, and it will also allow you to get quite a bit of stretch over the bust, so you don't have to worry so much about the sizing. The Kuutar top comes in a total of 9 sizes, from a 77 to 152 centimetre bust. I know many of you may not be the biggest fan of those kind of bra unfriendly or like strappy little camisole tops, so I've got you covered with a few t-shirt options. The first of which is a beautiful one from someone who I have made another pattern from in a kind of similar style, and this is the Musling tee by Lene Samsoe. If you are a regular viewer of mine, you may have seen me making her peacock tee, I believe it was, last year. The thing that I admire about this designer is how she creates lacework yokes that feel both simple but also really captivating. The peacock tee featured a yoke design with kind of fan, feathery sort of pattern, and this one has a similar kind of lacework, but it actually goes all over the entire tee. Her website says that the lace in this is designed to be reminiscent of shells, so again, you feel that kind of beachy vibe, and I think that it would look really beautiful with maybe some nice linen trousers in the same colour, or perhaps a long skirt if you want to go for a little bit more of a trendy look. This tee is also knit in one of my absolute favourite summer yarns, which is Sandnes Garn Line. It's a linen blend yarn that I find really wonderful to work with and wear. Because of the linen content, it is extremely cool, but it's also very satisfying to work with as it doesn't really want to break apart and it feels just very soft and very smooth in your hands. I also feel like this is a good sleeved alternative if you enjoyed the idea of the Barbroe top, but you felt like it was a little bit too skimpy. It still gives you a kind of waved effect that looks very, very stunning and it goes all the way through. Again, kind of reminiscent to me of something from Skal Studio, so definitely one that I'm going to have on my list if I can get my hands on some more Sandnes Garn Line. This top comes in sizes from XXS up to 5XL. Option number 6 is one from a designer who is fast becoming one of my favourites for classic, simple and minimalist designs, and that is the Brightest tee by Lily Kate France. I'm currently knitting her tonight top, and I have to say, the clarity of her instructions and the attention to detail to fit really blows me away every time I look at one of her patterns. The elements that I like about this design includes its cute little cap sleeves, elegant rib detail that is very, very fine, and the fact that it includes optional bust stars, which will really allow you to kind of customise and get the perfect fit. I also feel like that fitted kind of cap sleeve is very reminiscent of 90s minimalism, which is something that I'm taking a lot of inspiration from this spring and summer. The Ravelry page mentions that this simple classic silhouette gives you room to really play with your yarn choice, and I would choose something very special for this. Maybe the burgundy cashmere that I kind of have at the back of my cupboard. I reckon that would be a great one for it. The designer has also included some other intriguing details, such as some lacy holes that go down the sides and some ribbing. Now you could include those or you could omit those if you want a more kind of classic seamless look. Overall, I feel like the cap sleeves, bust darts and German short rows would ensure that you get a fit that you're really, really happy with, which is essential when you're creating something that is meant to hug you so closely like this top is. The Brightest tee comes in a total of 9 sizes for a 66 to 147 centimetre bust. Pattern number 7 is one that I included for those of you who are looking for something that they can wear not just in summer but also transition into those beautiful autumnal days. And this is the Hathor tee by Aegyo Knit. Many of you will know that I really admire the designs of Aegyo Knit. I enjoy their simplicity and their oversized fit that just makes them feel very effortless and very modern. And this one uses many of the features that I've come to really appreciate about this designer. The fit is very slouchy, which means that you could easily pair something underneath without feeling too restricted. I also think the fact that it is very oversized and open in this triangular lacework design means that you could use a more hardy and stiff plant-based fibre like a linen or a cotton, and you wouldn't feel like your hands were getting too tired out because it isn't meant to be knit on a very, very tight gauge. The things that stand out about this top are, of course, its really classic triangular lacework design that goes all the way down the front and the back, but I also enjoy the addition of twisted rib on the neckline and on the shoulder finishing. I like twisted rib in a design like this because I think it gives you sharper lines that just look very, very polished. Equally as good to just wear on its own to the beach or to pair with something underneath for a kind of preppy, comfortable autumn look. The Hathor top comes in a total of only 4 sizes for a 115 to 165 centimetre bust. Sticking with my theme of providing you with transitional options, I have another vest, and this is the Vest Claire by Mochi Knits. Now, many of you will probably have noticed in the shops that vests are everywhere at the moment. However, I didn't want to give in to the temptation and grab myself something from the shop when I have all of the yarn and all of the tools to make myself something perfect at home. And with this in mind, I was searching through Ravelry when I came across the Vest Claire, which is that perfect classic stockinette vest with the option of buttons. I, however, would customise this to include I-cord ties to give it a very cool and laid-back look. This vest is knit from the top down and is in complete stockinette, so that's a really great option if you're moving about or you want a project that you can work on, maybe when you're visiting friends and family in the summer, and you just need something mindless without the complication of a lacework chart. As this is knit on 3.5mm needles, I feel like it would allow you to create a fabric that looks very uniform and crisp, despite the fact that you're using plant-based fibres. And I, as I said, would definitely add the tie detail. I've seen a few people on Ravelry do this, and I just think it's mwah, chef's kiss. Now, the Vest Claire comes in a total of 7 sizes, from an extra small up to a 3XL. Now we're moving into my final category, which is light sweaters. I wanted to include 2 long-sleeved options for those of you who live in places like England that are not quite as warm and maybe need something to cover up in the evening or when the temperature drops just below that kind of perfect t-shirt weather. The blouse number 2 by My Favourite Things really immediately stood out to me due to the simplicity but really impactful look of its lacework design. It features kind of stripes created from what I believe are yarn over holes and then layers of purling. So really interesting kind of texture and structure to this piece. I also enjoy the fact that it is quite a baggy and loose fit with a lot of positive ease and very open drapey sleeves, so that would allow loads of breeze in, even if you were to wear it layered on top of maybe a pretty little evening dress. This oversized sweater features a boat neckline, which again is an element that I've been looking out for. I like how it lies very flat against you, even though it has interesting textural details. I think that that could make a nice necklace really stand out, but also cover you up if you, during the day, maybe don't want to get as much sun on your arms and on your chest. The blouse number 2 by My Favourite Things is created from the top down in this beautiful textured pattern, and it comes in a total of 8 sizes from extra small up to 4XL. Sticking with my kind of flitting between very minimalist, like modern looks and more lacy and very feminine pieces, my last one is the Birdy Sweater by a new to me designer called Ana Ka Thrin. I couldn't resist this piece as soon as I came across it on Instagram, and I enjoy the fact that there are so many different ways to wear it. The designer herself has knit it with a little bit more ease and wears it just like a sweater. However, due to the fact that it has a wrap around kind of tie detail at the side, I think that you could size it down and wear it as a cardigan over the top of little tops. The thing that makes the Birdy sweater really shine is it's all over very complex lace, which I feel is quite reminiscent of the Japanese lacework books that I now have 2 of because I just adore them. I like the original, but I was personally captivated by a black version that I saw on Instagram, and I think if I were to make this, I would definitely not be able to resist making it in black. Again, a perfect kind of nighttime option to dress up or down depending on what you pair it with. I think it would look equally good with some nice structured denim or over the top of a dress, just like the blouse number 2. This piece is designed to be worn with between 10 and 20 centimeters of positive ease, but as I previously mentioned, I would personally size down to get that more elegant fitted kind of cardigan look. This jumper comes in a total of 6 sizes from an extra small to a 2XL. Okay, and that just about wraps up all of my kind of summer top inspiration. I hope that you really enjoyed this list and would love to know which ones were your favourites and which ones you think I should cast on. Of course, I don't have the unlimited time and yarn to make all of them, but I am definitely planning to create some of them in the next few months, and I would love to know which ones you're really inspired by and which ones you're thinking about trying. So yeah, do drop me a comment down below if you make any of them, or message me over on Instagram and show me your lovely pictures. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye!